To tonight's T24 production of Alice Through the Looking Glass. There are no phones in Wonderland, so please turn off your phones throughout the duration of the performance. Photography is strictly prohibited, else the Red Queen will have off with your heads. The content warnings for tonight's performance include implied hallucinations, unreality, gaslighting, comedic portrayal of death. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Child of the pure, unclouded brow, and dreaming eyes of wonder.
Though time be a fleet, and I and thou are half a life asunder.
Thy loving smile will surely hail the love gift of our fairy tale.
I have not seen thy sunny face, nor heard thy silver laughter. No thought of me shall find a place in thy young life hereafter.
Enough that now thou wilt not fail to listen to my fairy tale. The tale began in other days, when summer suns were glowing, a simple chime that served to time the rhythm of our rowing,
whose echoes leave in memory yet, though envious years would say, forget.
come, hearken.
Voice of dread.
With bitter tidings laden,
Shall summon to unwelcome bed a melancholy maiden.
We are but older children, dear, who fret to find our bedtime near.
Without the frost, the blinding snow, the storm wind's moody madness.
Within the firelight's ruddy glow, the childhood's nest of gladness.
The magic words shall hold the fact, thou shalt not heed the raging black. From the shadow of the sigh may tremble through the story.
For happy summer glory, it shall not touch with breath of veil the pleasance of our fairy tale.
Chapter 1. One thing was certain. The kittens were causing trouble. But Queenie had nothing to do with it. It was Gambit's fault entirely, for Queenie was having her face washed by the old cat for the last quarter of an hour, and bearing it pretty well considering. So you see, she couldn't have had a hand in the mischief. Now, the way Dina washed her children's faces was this. She held the poor things down by the ear with one paw, and with the other, washed their faces entirely the wrong way, starting with the nose. And as I just said, she was hard at work on Queenie, who was lying there, trying to purr, no doubt feeling that this was all meant for her own good. But Gambit had been dealt with earlier in the afternoon, and so while Alice was curled up in a corner, half talking to herself and half asleep, the kitten was having a grand game of romps with the ball Alice had been trying to wind up, rolling it up and down until it all came unwound again. And there it was, scattered across the hearth rug, all knots and tangles, with the kitten running after its own tail in the middle.
Oh, you wicked little thing!
Cried Alice, who was chasing after the kitten and giving it a kiss to make it understand that it was all in disgrace.
Really, Dina ought to have taught you better manners. You ought to know better. You know you ought.
She added, looking reproachfully at the old cat, and spoke in as cross as a voice as she could manage. She then stood from the floor, took the kitten and the ball with her, and attempted to wind it up again. Only she didn't get very far, as she was always talking to the kitten and to herself.
Do you know what tomorrow is, Gambit? You'd have guessed if you'd been up in the window with me, but you were getting your face washed by Dina, so you couldn't. I watched as the boys were getting in the sticks for the bonfire, and needs plenty of sticks. Only it got so cold and snowed, they had to leave. Never mind, we'll go and see it again tomorrow.
She then attempted to roll 2 or 3 turns of wool around the kitten's belly, just to see what it would look like. This led to a scramble in which the ball rolled across the floor and yards of it came unwound again.
Do you know, I was so angry at you, Gambit, I was very nearly picking you up and putting you out into the snow. And you'd have deserved it, you mischievous little thing. What have you got to say for yourself? Now don't interrupt me.
She went on, holding up one finger.
And don't interrupt me either. It's very rude.
Ooh, I'm so terribly sorry.
Now, I'm going to tell you all of your faults. Number one, you screamed twice while Dina was trying to wash your face. You can't deny it. I heard you. What was that? Her paw went in your eye. Well, you shouldn't have had them open. If you'd have kept them shut tight, it couldn't have happened. Now, no more excuses, but listen. Number two, you poured Snowdrop by the towel and put a saucer of milk for her. What? You were thirsty? How do you know that she wasn't thirsty too? And number three, you unwound every bit of wool while I wasn't looking. Now that's 3 faults, and you haven't been punished for any of them yet. I'm saving them all up for Wednesday week. Suppose they'd saved up all my punishments.
She went on, speaking more to herself than the kitten.
This is intolerable. I do wish you wouldn't. I can hardly see any need for it. It's very irritating, and I do not like it.
I do beg your pardon.
Now, where was I? Suppose they'd saved up all my punishments. At the end of the year, I should be sent to prison. Or imagine, each punishment is going without dinner. I should have to go without 50 dinners at once when the day came. Now that wouldn't do. Do you hear the snow against the window pane, Kitty? As if someone was kissing it all over outside. I wonder if the snow loves the trees and the fields so much that it kisses them so gently. And it covers them snug in a white quilt. And perhaps it says, "Oh, go to sleep, my darlings."
In Wonderland they lie, dreaming as the days go by.
Let's pretend that you're the Red Queen. Now, can you play chess? Don't smile. I'm asking it seriously. When we played earlier, you watched as if you understood. When I said check, you purred. I suppose it was a nice check, and I'd have won if it hadn't been for that nasty knight that came along.
Napoleon goes his way in first, you know. You will observe the rules of battle.
If you're not good, I'll put you in the little glass house. How would you like that, Kitty?
Ever drifting.
I like fancy.
How would you like to live in the little glass house, Kitty? You see through there? It's Albert, only things go the other way around. You can listen at doors. Let's pretend there's a way of getting through it.
Why? Sometimes I think as many as 6 possible things before breakfast.
Like, what is it but a breeze?
Oh, I bet it's got such beautiful things. It'd be easy to.
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 Alice looked around the room and noticed what could be seen was rather common and uninteresting. Everything else seemed to be as different as possible. Pictures appeared to be alive, and the clock appeared to be grinning at her.
They don't keep this room as tidy as the others. Beware! The Jabberwock
She was out of the... She was out of the room in a moment and ran down the stairs. Oh, it wasn't exactly running, but rather a new invention of hers for getting down the stairs quickly. She just kept her fingertips on the handrail and went on floating through the hall, and would have gone out at the door the same way if she hadn't caught hold of the doorpost. Now, she was feeling a little giddy with so much floating in the air, but was rather glad to find herself walking again, the natural way.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And through the mortal flame went Snickersnap. He left it dead, and with his head he went a-loping back.
Oh no, how curiously it twists! It's more like a corkscrew than a path. This time goes to the hill. Has thou slain the Jabberwock?
Come to my arms, my hearing is mine. Oh, practice day, Callooh, Calais. He chortled in his joy.
No, it doesn't. This turn goes back to the house. If I go back now, that would be the end of all my adventures.
What, really? And the slimy toes, the gyring dimple in the way. Oh, misty well of our rose, and our hands are brave. Oh, fractious day, Callooh, Calais. Oh, fractious day, Callooh, Calais.
Oh, fractious day! Good Calais! Oh, fractious day! Hey. Anyone see where they go? Under the chairs? Chapter 2.
Oh, I never saw such a house for getting in the way. Oh, Tiger Lily, I wish you could talk.
We can talk. But is anybody worth talking to?
Can all the flowers talk?
As well as you can. And a great deal louder.
It isn't manners for us to begin, you know. And I was wondering when you'd speak. I said to myself, her face has got some sense in it. Though it isn't a clever one.
If only your precious got up a little more, she'd be all right.
Are you scared being planted out here with nobody to look after you?
There's a tree in the middle. What else is it good for?
What use would that be when danger came?
It can hurt. It says, that's why its branches are called boughs. Did you know that? So
Silence, everyone of you! They know I can't get at them, or they wouldn't dare to do it!
Never mind. If you don't hold your tongues, I'll pick you.
That's right. The daisies are the worst of all. When one speaks, they all begin together. It's enough to make one wither. You hear the way they go on?
How is it you can all talk so nicely? I've been to many gardens before, but none of the flowers there can talk.
Put your hand down, babes. You feel the ground. Then you know why.
It's very hard, but I don't know what that's got to do with it.
In most gardens, they make the beds too soft. The flowers are always.
I never thought of that.
It is my opinion that you never think at all.
I never saw anyone that looked stupider.
Hold your tongue, as if you ever saw anybody. Keep your head under the leaves and snore away if you don't know more about this world than if you were a spy.
Is there anyone else in this garden?
There's one on the flower that can move about like you. I wonder how you do it.
You're always fine.
But she's so much bushier than you are.
Another little girl in the garden.
She has the same awkward shape as you, but she's redder, and her petals are shorter, I think.
Her petals are done up close, almost like a dove. Not tumble, but anyhow, it's yours.
It's not your fault you begin to page, you know. Everyone can help one's petals getting on it all on time, eh?
But does she come around to rock?
I dare say you'll see her soon. She's one of the thorny kind.
And where does she wear her thorns?
Why, all around her head, of course. I was wondering when you hadn't got any. I thought it was a regular rule. Oh, I hear her coming now. Up the gravel path. Thump, thump, thump.
Oh, I think it's the Red Queen. I'll go meet her.
No, you can't possibly do that. I'd advise you to walk the other way.
I've lost my way.
I don't know what you mean by your way, but all the ways around here belong to me. Now, why would you come here at all? Can't you while you're thinking about what to say? It saves time. And open your mouth a little wider when you speak. And always say, Your Majesty.
I only wanted to see what the gardens were like. Your Majesty.
That's right. Though, when you say garden, I see gardens compared with which this would be a wilderness.
And find my way to the top of that hill.
You say hill. Well, I could show you hills in comparison with which you'd call that a valley.
No, I shouldn't. A hill can't be a valley. That would be nonsense.
Well, you may call it nonsense if you like, but I've heard nonsense compared with which this would be as sensible as a dictionary.
I declare
What, child?
it's marked out like a giant chessboard. There ought to be some men moving about somewhere. And there they are. It's a giant, huge game of chess played all over the world. If this is a world at all, you know. How I should like to join. I would love to be a pawn if you'd let me. But I should like to be a queen best.
Well, that's easily managed. You can be the White Queen's pawn if you like. You'll start in a second square to begin with. And when you get to the 8th, you shall be a queen. A pawn's promotion if you like. Run! Faster, faster!
I wonder if all the things are moving along with us.
Faster, don't try to talk.
Are we nearly there yet?
Nearly there while we passed it 10 minutes ago. Now, faster, faster, stop! You may rest a little now.
It seems we've been under the same tree the entire time.
And of course we have. How would you have it?
Well, in my world, generally, if you run for as fast as we have, for as long as we have, you end up somewhere else.
Like a slow kind of world. Now, here you see, it takes all the running you can do to keep in the same place. If you wish to get somewhere else, well, child, you need to ride at least twice as fast as that.
I'd rather not, please, only I'm so hot and thirsty.
Oh, I know what you'd like. Have a biscuit.
Thank you.
While you're refreshing yourself, So, at the end of 2 yards, I shall give you your directions. At the end of 3 yards, I shall repeat them for fear of your forgetting them. At the end of 4 yards, I shall say goodbye. And at the end of 5, oh come on! At the end of 5, I shall go. Yeah! Go! Go, 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 go! So, a pawn goes 2 squares.
Ah! No, you know what? I've had enough of this, you bossing me about. I don't get paid enough for this. I should be getting 2 buttons a week plus jam. I don't see the jam, do I? No, I'm going to start a trade union. You know what? I quit.
Seize the means of production! Now! Oh, blimey. Open your head!
Shall this be a lesson to all of you? A pawn goes 2 squares in its first move.
So, you'll go very quickly through the 3rd square, by railway, I should think. And you'll find yourself in no time in the 4th square. That belongs to Tweedledum and Tweedledee. The 5th square is mostly water. While the 6th belongs to Humpty Dumpty. But you make no remark.
I didn't know any.
Well, you should have said. It's extremely, very, very kind of you to tell me all of this. What suppose it said? Well, the 7th square is mostly false. But a knight will show you the way. And in the 8th square, you shall be a queen. Well, we shall be queens together. And it's all feasty and fun. Speak in French, if you can't think of the English for a thing. Turn out your toes as you walk. And always remember who you are. Oh. Anyway, goodbye.
Where? That queen can run so fast. I must remember that I'm a pawn, and I do so want to get to the 3rd square.
There was no way of guessing, but she was out of sight in a moment, and Alice soon remembered that she was in fact a pawn, and that it would soon be time for her to make a move.
Thank
going to travel through. Something like learning geography. Principal rivers. There are none. Principal mountains. There's only one, but I'm on it, and I don't think it's got a name. Principal towns.
Chapter 3.
Now then, show me your ticket, child.
I'm afraid I haven't got one. There wasn't a ticket office where I came from.
Don't keep him waiting, child.
Why, his time is worth £1,000 a minute.
I'm not taking excuses.
There wasn't room for a ticket office where she came from.
The land here is worth £1,000 an inch.
You should have bought one from the engine driver.
The man that drives the engine?
Why, smoke is worth £1,000 a puff, fam.
There's no use in speaking.
Better say nothing at all. Language is worth £1,000 a word.
I shall dream about £1,000 tonight. I know I shall.
You're going the wrong way.
A young child ought to know which way she's going, even if she doesn't know her own name.
She ought to know her way to the ticket office, even if she doesn't know her alphabet.
She'll have to go back and hear his luggage.
She must be labeled human girl with kid.
She must go by post, as she's got a head on her.
She must be sent as a message by the telegraph.
She must draw the train herself the rest of the way.
Ha!
Never mind what they'll say, mate, but take her attention to every time the train stops.
Indeed I shan't. I shouldn't be on this railway journey at all. In fact, I was in the woods just now, and I wish I could get back there.
It's only a brook we have to jump over.
Oh, it's only a brook. Jump. The train. That will take us to the fourth square. That's some company. Only the ones that talk. They don't talk where I come from.
What sort of insects do you rejoice in? Where you come from?
I don't rejoice in any, really. I'm rather afraid of them, especially the large kinds. I can name some, you know.
Of course. Do they answer to their names?
Not that I know them to.
What's the use of them having names if they won't answer to them?
No use to them, but useful to the people who name them. Otherwise, what's the use in having names at all?
I can't say. Further on, in the woods down there, they've got insects with no names. Go on with the list, you're wasting time.
Well, there's the horse fly.
Ah! Further up that bush, you will see a rocket horseback. Its body made entirely of wood, and its movement as it gets about from branch to branch. Go on with the list.
Then there's the dragonfly.
Ah! If you look at the branches above you, you'll see a dragonfly. Its body, a plum pudding, and twins like holly leaves, and its head, a raisin burning in brandy.
What's the name of?
Mince pie, and its as big as a fox.
Then there's the butterfly. I wonder if the reason all insects like cats so much is because they ought to be a snap dragonfly.
Ah, crawling at your feet. You may observe a branch and butterfly. Its body, a crust, and wings with inside the butter. Its head, a lump of sugar and a it could die, of course.
Then that happens.
It always happens. I suppose you want to do it. You don't suddenly leave them, or you'll never know. Sneak will be on your way.
See, oh, so that's what could it be? The sands were bright as dry. You couldn't notice it cloud because no cloud was in the sky. No birds were flying overhead. There was a flag.
Chapter 5. Chapter 4. They were stood under a tree, each with an arm around the other's neck. Alice knew which one was which because one had the word done embroidered on the collar and the other D.
And I suppose you've got tweedle around the back of each collar.
She said to herself.
Don't start that again.
They stood so still, she forgot they were alive and began to look around the back to see if the word Tweedle was written, but was then startled by a voice coming from the one named Dum.
If you think we're waxworks, you ought to pay, you know. Waxworks were made to stand around for nothing, no-how. Contrariwise, if you think we're alive, you ought to speak.
I'm sure I'm very sorry.
Tweedledum and Tweedledee agreed to have a battle. For Tweedledum said Tweedledee has spoiled his nice new rattle. Just then flew down a monstrous crow as black as a tar barrel. They frightened both the heroes, so they quite forgot their quarrel.
I know what you're thinking, but isn't so, no-how. Contrariwise, if it was so, it might be, and if it was so, it would be. But as it isn't, it ain't.
That's logic.
I was thinking, which is the best way to get out of this wood? Oh, it's getting so dark. Would you tell me, please?
The first thing in a visit is to say, how do you do? How do you do? How do you do? And shake hands! Here we go round the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush. Here we go round the mulberry bush, early in the morning. Oh. Four times round is enough for one dance.
I hope you're not much tired.
I know how, and thank you very much for asking. So much obliged. Do you like poetry?
Some poetry. But would you first tell me which is the best way to get out of this wood?
Oh, what shall I repeat to her?
The walrus and the carpenter is the longest.
Oh.
Oh, oysters, come and walk with us.
If it's very long, would you please tell me the way out first?
The walrus and the carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see, such quantities of sand. If this were only cleared away, they said it would be grand. The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all his might. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright. This was odd because it was the middle of the night.
Are there any lions or tigers about here?
Why is Uncle Red King snoring? Come and look at him!
Aren't they a lovely sight? He's snoring very loudly.
Fit to snore his head off!
I'm afraid you'll catch a cold lying on that damp grass.
He's dreaming now. What do you think he's dreaming about?
Nobody can guess that.
What about you? And if they're not dreaming about you, where do you suppose you'd be?
Where I am now, of course.
Not you! You'd be nowhere. Why only a sort of thing is dreaming? If the king were to wake, you'd go out. Bang!
Oh, sorry, darling.
Just like a candle.
But if I'm not in this dream, I should like to know what you are.
Ditto, 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 ditto.
Hush, you'll be waking him with all that noise.
Well, it's no use you're talking about waking him. But you're only one of the things in his dream. You know very well you're not real.
I am real.
You will make yourself a bit more real by crying. There's nothing to cry about.
I'm not real. I should be able to cry.
Do you see that?
It's getting very dark.
Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see that?
Only an old rattle, not a rattlesnake. Only an old rattle, quite old and broken.
I knew it was! It's spoiled, of course!
You needn't be so angry about an old rattle.
But it's old, it's new! I tell you, I bought it yesterday! My new rattle! Of course, you agree to have a battle. I suppose so. Only she must help us dress up, you know?
I hope you're a good hand at tying strings and pinning things, you know. All of these things has got to go on.
One way or another.
Really? I look more like a pile of old clothes than anything else.
You're so pretty. There's some coloring things on
Do I look very pale?
Yes, a little.
I'm very brave generally, but today I happen to have a headache.
And I have a toothache. I'm foul or something. You are.
Then you better not fight today.
But we must have a bit of a fight. I don't care about going on about it, though. What time is it?
4:30.
Let's fight till 6.
And then have dinner.
All about an old rattle.
I wouldn't have minded so much if it hadn't been a new one.
I wish that monstrous crow would come.
There's only one sword, you know, but you can have even better. It's quite sharp. Only we must begin quick. It's getting as dark as it can.
And darker. What a thick black cloud that is. And how fast it comes. Why, I do believe it's got wings.
It's the crow! What?
Go! 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 I'm the crew. The two brothers took to their heels and were out of sight in a moment, and Alice ran a short way out and sat under a large tree.
It won't be able to get me here. It's far too large to fit itself through the branches. And I do wish it would stop flapping its wings so. It's making quite the hurricane.
Chapter 5.
Am I dressing the White Queen?
Well, that rather depends on what you call a dressing. It's not my notion of a
Well, if your Majesty tells me the right way to do it, I'll do the best I can.
But I don't want it done at all. I've been addressing myself for the last 2 hours.
She's all crooked. Why, she's pins all over. May I straighten your shawl for you?
Oh, I don't know what's the matter with it. It's out of temper, I think. I've pinned it here and I've pinned it there. Oh, there's just no pleasing it.
Well, it can't go straight if you put all the pins on one side. My goodness, the state of your hair.
The brush got entangled in it. And I lost the comb yesterday.
You ought to get yourself a lady's maid.
I'll take you with pleasure. 2 buttons a week and jam every other day.
I don't want you to hire me, and I don't care for jam.
It's very good jam.
Well, I don't want jam today, at any rate.
You couldn't have it even if you did want it. The rule is jam yesterday and jam tomorrow, but no jam today.
But it must at some point come to jam today.
No, it can't. It's jam every other day. Today isn't every other day.
I don't understand you. It's dreadfully confusing.
Well, that's the effect of living backwards. It can make one feel a little giddy to begin with.
Living backwards.
But of course, one great advantage of living backwards is that your memory works both ways.
I don't think mine can do that. I can only remember things after they've happened.
A poor sort of memory that only works one way.
But what sort of things can you remember?
Oh, things that happen the week after next. Take the King's Messenger, for example. He's in prison now and being punished. But of course, the trial doesn't start till next Wednesday, and the crime comes last of all.
Supposing he never commits the crime.
Well, that'd be all the better, wouldn't it?
All the better, but not all the better for he's being punished.
You're wrong there, at any rate. Have you ever been punished?
Only for faults.
And you were all the better for it, I know.
Yes, but then I did the things I was being punished for, and that makes all the difference.
Yes, yes, but if you hadn't have done those things, that would have been all the better. Better and better and better.
There's a mistake somewhere. What's the matter?
My finger's bleeding.
Have you pricked it?
I haven't pricked it yet, but I soon shall.
When do you expect it?
When I fasten my shawl again, a pin will come undone directly.
Take care, approach!
That accounts for the bleeding, you see. Now you understand the way things happen here.
But why don't you scream now?
Why? I've done all the screaming already. What would be the good in having it all over again?
It seems the crow's gone. I'm so glad.
I wish I could manage to be glad. Only I never can remember the rule. You must be so happy here, living all alone in this wood and being glad whenever you like.
Only it's so lonely.
Don't go on like that. Consider what a great girl you are. Consider what a long way you've come today. Consider what o'clock it is. Consider anything, only don't cry.
Oh, can you stop yourself from crying by considering things?
That's the way it's done. You can't think of 2 things at once, you know. Take my age to begin with.
And how old are you?
I'm just 101, 5 months and a day.
I can't believe that.
Can't you? Try again. Take a long, deep breath. And close your eyes.
There's no use in trying. One can't believe impossible things.
Why? Sometimes I believed as many as 6 impossible things before